You are listening to the Empowering Working Moms podcast, Real Talk with Dr. Prianca Naik, a show to help professional moms in survival mode to take hold of their lives and thrive. If you're ready to take powerful action to create your best life, then this is the show for you. I'm your host, Dr. Prianca Naik, board-certified internal medicine physician and certified life coach. Now let's get to it and dive in. You are listening to the Empowering Working Moms podcast, episode number 27. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. The weather in the Northeast has gotten cold now, so bye summer, but hello autumn and fall. So hopefully the leaves are turning colors and are beautiful where you are too. My process helps professional moms with the seemingly perfect life who are truly suffering on the inside to know that they're not alone and really help them to reclaim their confidence and power to have the life that they want, to love their lives even when that feels impossible. And if you want to learn more about truly loving your life, even when you feel like you can't, I have 4 proven methods in my free masterclass, 4 secrets to living a life you love. So please check out the link in the show notes and sign up for my free masterclass, which you can watch at any time to learn these methods. Today, I'm going to talk about really living in the win. And what that means is truly looking at everything in your life / my life, our lives, that is beautiful, wonderful, and it really goes beyond gratitude because, of course, gratitude is so important and really living in this place where you are grateful for the things that you have. But beyond that, this process of living in the win is truly learning to reckon with that perfectionism that so many of us struggle with. So before I really get into the process, let me just touch upon perfectionism. Many of us type A power moms, power women, moms working in male-dominated fields, right? We go to work and we're giving it our all. We are going home, we're managing so much, and we just have this high level, high standard of living to which we hold ourselves. And we strive for perfectionism, many of us, especially physicians, right? We had to do really well in school. Many of us grew up with when you got a 99% on your exam, where's the other point? Those kinds of stories, right? So we were taught that nothing less than perfect is good. So when we're striving for perfection, we really start to miss out on all the good things in our lives that are actually going really well, right? Because we're thinking, I should be doing this. I need to do this. I could be doing this better. Or even worse, comparing and despairing, seeing so and so on social media, how they have this seemingly perfect life. And just a little anecdote here. As I talk about, the seemingly perfect life, those are my clients, and believe me, they are silently suffering. They really are. And they often have beautiful curated social media pics as well. So what is advertised, promoted on people's personal profiles really doesn't necessarily mean that everything is picture perfect for them. So as we shift our brains to living in the place of win, because obviously we all like winning, we can think about how maybe the glass is half full. We can really celebrate ourselves every single day because we really are successful, are we not? Right? We are striving for success and surrounding ourselves with people who truly also want to celebrate their lives and celebrate themselves is a key component in this if you can learn to build that for yourself. I have found living in the win very useful when I'm having a bad day or going through difficult things. I really take some time to see all that I've accomplished in a given day or all the things that I'm doing right because we really take those for granted. And along with my gratitude practice, check out episode 9 for understanding the role of gratitude practice in your own happiness. But along with that, I often will list 5 or 6 things that I did well that day or the preceding 24 hours on a regular basis. And it's really helpful in getting my brain to the place of what I'm doing well as opposed to what I'm doing wrong. Because most of us are really trying to see what needs to be fixed all the time. And likely this is an evolutionary protective mechanism that keeps us safe, right? Because we're surveying the problems, we're surveying threats, we're getting rid of them and keeping ourselves safe. Now, of course, there is so much use in that. But often we need to update how our brains are thinking, really take control of our experience to get ourselves in a more peaceful place. So, living in the win really means being in the modus operandi of not only keeping track of what we're doing well, but also perhaps embarking on something intriguing or adventurous. I actually recently signed up for a few New Orleans cooking classes because I am obsessed with New Orleans. That's no secret. I went to medical school there. And if I find and of course, I love food as well and New Orleans food. So if I find something that aligns with my passions, I go for it. And that is really how we can win, right? As opposed to saying, oh, I don't have time for that. I'm so busy, blah, blah, blah. Everybody, that's just very common. People say that all the time. And I have learned to say, I am not making time for that. It's not that I don't have the time. Okay. So remember that difference. So, a client and I were discussing how life can be so mundane, right? And there's so much routine. And that's true. However, we do have the power to schedule things, let's say fun things, during the mundane stuff like spontaneous dance parties in the kitchen, which I'm a huge fan of, or we can also schedule fun things like vacations or meeting up with dear friends, planning things in between the day to day mundane stuff. I actually had the opportunity to be on a talk show very briefly last week, and I jumped on it. Details to follow, but I was basically living in the win, living in the yes, and I ended up having the most fun that I had had in forever. So, living in the win also includes living in a space of yes. Now, I have also talked about the power of no. Let me clarify. The power of no, of course, is saying no to things that do not align with our values. But the power of yes is really saying yes and being adventurous to things that you might not normally say yes to. Additionally, living in the win includes thinking about proud moments for yourself, right? Really, really basic stuff. For me, when I'm teaching my kids something or modeling good behavior, I acknowledge it to myself and imagine I know you're out there doing amazing things, such good stuff, and I'm guessing you don't actually pause to acknowledge it. So I highly encourage you and challenge you to do so. For me, also, part of my routine is going to the gym 5 or 6 days a week. And I reflect on that and think that's pretty freaking awesome. Not everybody does that. There are a lot of things about ourselves that we can accept just as, oh, that's just the way it is. But sometimes there is so much beauty in the things that we are doing on a day to day and regular basis. So I would encourage you to maybe even pause this podcast and really reflect on 5 things that you did well within the last 24 hours or the last week, even, or 5 things that you're really doing right. Take some time to write this down. What things do you take for granted in yourself? Like what I'm talking about, the mundane, regular stuff, or just the stuff that you do automatically. Maybe you're meal planning. Maybe you're getting the groceries. Maybe you took the trash out yesterday. That is something to pat yourself on the back for. Also, can you write yourself a letter of appreciation? Think about how we write people thank you notes for something nice they may have done or a gift they may have given us. What about the gifts that we're giving to ourselves or to other people? Can we write a letter or note of appreciation and thank you to ourselves? That way we're really filling up our own cup and not relying on other people to do it. And the key here is really training your brain to internally validate yourself instead of constantly looking outside of yourself for validation. We can celebrate ourselves for how great we are. And let me clarify, because we are not better than other people, okay? Because that is arrogance. However, we can celebrate our own fabulousness, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And we can do it alone. We can do it for free. We can do it with friends. We can also do it with an accountability partner. Mine, Margaret, if you're listening, that I met 2.5 years ago, we are able to truly celebrate ourselves with each other. And we hold space to be there for each other, to also hear about our challenges and setbacks and support each other, of course, but also to be there when we're living in the win. I encourage you to go out and try any and all of what I've talked about today. Let's live in the win, because we actually are winning every single day. We probably just don't realize it. My coaching program helps professional moms with the seemingly perfect life who are silently suffering on the inside to know that they're not alone, to reclaim their confidence and power, to really enjoy their lives even when that feels impossible. To get started on loving your life, check out my free masterclass on 4 proven methods to enjoy your life. www.prianca-naik.mykajabi.com/4-secrets-2-live-u-ll-love-1-2. This link is going to be in the show notes. I will have it available. Check out that masterclass, and please share this podcast with anyone that you think might benefit or enjoy it. Take care, and I will talk to you next week. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Empowering Working Moms podcast, Real Talk with Dr. Prianca Naik. If you are ready to get unstuck and out of survival mode to live your best life, I want to invite you to book a free 30-minute consultation call with me. To get started, visit priancanaikmdcoaching.as.me. Link in the show notes.